Hey Yuuki fam, welcome to the 2025 preview part 1 for you guys. As we head toward November and December, we have to get ready to look forward to 2025 as 2024 wraps up. In this preview, this is the first part. What you're going to see is some draft and some concepts I am thinking of for next year in terms of content, streaming, and other material that you'll be seeing in 2025. Keep in mind that what you're about to see is just a draft because sometime in December I am going to make it final, or early January I'm going to make it final, and we're going to stick with what we have selected. I'm also going to be presenting a preview of, of a website template for our IndieYuuki channel at the end. So get ready for that. Alright, here we go. This is also going to touch on some data I want to demonstrate of how 2025 is going to be a little bit different. Okay, here is the official preview. To get into the first preview, to get into this page, go to Yuuki Productions yt.weebly.com, go to the 2025 preview tab, and you're going to hover over that and you can see the overall preview. Content streaming and stream interactables will be used later on so that you guys can get a taste of it, but not until it's ready. So here we go. Here are some dates that you guys need to know about as we prepare for 2025. The first date is from now until December 23rd. Okay, so we're going to be doing draft, we're going to be doing content previews and possible looks from now until December 23rd. From December 23rd to December 30th, we're going to have our preview week, meaning we're still going to be streaming, but for the most part on that week, I'm going to reserve that week to preview 2025. Like, hey, here's a preview for Francis the Hedgehog, or hey, here's a preview for Francis the Riolu, or here is a preview of IndieYuuki. Those are what I'm talking about when it comes to that week. On December 26th, we are going to take a break from the previews and give you a special VR chat edition of Christmas. So we're going to be doing a Christmas VR chat that day, basically, because that is a Thursday and Christmas this year is December 25th, and that's a Wednesday. December 30th will be our last stream of 2024 because on December 31st that's the last day of 2024. Now I will tell you we had a few times where we stream on that day. But I'm going to tell you this is not pandemic. That was during the pandemic. This is not pandemic. So, 2024 final day. We're streaming to this December 30th at this time. You never know though with how I stream this stuff though. I have done it before and I may do it again. January 1st is the first day of 2025. For the moment there's no stream, but you never know. I'm kind of a little bit wild when it comes to that day. January 2nd to January 4th is our preseason streams. We're going to be streaming those days, but they're preseason. Meaning, like, hey, this is our new layout. Or, hey, this is our new alert sounds. This is more like a preview week for the streaming time for 2025. January 5th, we are also streaming that day, but it's the last day before we actually begin where the data starts to play before 2025 actually begins in terms of streaming year. And then January 6, 2025, that's the real first day that everything counts for the streams. So it's like it's a build up to what you've been waiting for. January 6, 2025 is the first day where data actually counts. We're gonna see where everything is. I'll explain what you may be wondering. What is this data I'm talking about? I'll show you guys what I'm referring to when we get there in this video. The theme of 2025, ladies and gentlemen, is not yet officially decided. And the reason for that is there is a contingency with something I'm going to purchase within the next 2 weeks or 2 months, depending on where I go with this. And that theme right now is called nostalgic diversification. Nostalgic diversification is the idea of expanding and diversifying nostalgic content to make it more interesting. For example, Pokemon, Mario, and Sonic. Everybody knows nostalgia rules when it comes to those three franchises. Pokemon by Nintendo, Mario by Nintendo, Sonic by Sega. Okay? Based on what I have seen, you guys enjoy that. So we're going to expand on that contingent on a few things. But what does this mean for diversification? We are trying to make it more interesting to play. Okay, so what do you mean by more interesting? So everybody knows that when I play a Mario game that is not a ROM hack, I gotta stress that is where I go from point A to B. That's it, no more, no más. Okay? But when we are doing it in 2025, you guys can actually sabotage or reward me using Yuuki coin, which I'll show you guys what the new changes are a little bit later. But basically, it's crowd control, but without you paying for it. Okay? In terms of real money. Alright? So you gotta make it more interesting for me to play, basically. Other than me doing it. Now, keep in mind, this is only considered when the game in question, is actually official release, not a ROM hack because it's automatic, where it's different. Like Shotgun Mario 64. There's a reason why Nintendo won't allow that. It's because Shotgun, like Mario has literally a weapon in his hands. Okay, nope, Nintendo is not gonna allow that. So by rule, a ROM hack or modded game is not going to be is not going to be talked about when it comes to um more interesting to play because it is already more interesting. We're talking about games normally like Pokemon White, okay, where you can tell me, hey, do this or do that or do something. All right, so that's what I'm talking about. Content planning. Here is the content forecast table for 2024 and on the right compared to 2025. For the most part, I have moved all of the stuff to their current for their respective channels. For example, um, Francis the Hedgehog reacts becomes Francis the Hedgehog reacts or the Francis Squad. It's its own channel. Okay, the only difference between the two is that Francis the Hedgehog has one more piece of content, and that is the video reactions, like the beer meets food, theater piece. VR Productions is going to get new stuff, and actually this makes sense. VR chat roleplays, VR games, VR chat news, tutorials, and VR chat world tours. That's all on that channel. And as you can see here, there's an asterisk on VR games. I am not referring to a game on PC where the game is first person. I am legit talking about a VR game, as in a VR headset game. That is the contingency this season, this new year. A VR headset is a contingency for that particular type of content. We'll get into why in a bit, because it has something to do with our scheduling. Experimentals this year. We're going to be experimenting with new stream elements, including interactable ones. We have the hotkey counters, alert boxes are going to be brand new. The vertical content is going to be new. The vertical streams are going to be brand new, and vertical streams on stream. So we're going to test the waters with vertical content next year. Okay, and I'm going to take data on that to see if you guys like it or don't like it. That's as simple as that. Also next year, Yuuki VR production. I mean not Yuuki VR. Yuuki Mario World will have live streams again starting next year. However, I am going to play it again this year because we're almost done with Shotgun Mario 64. Our next game is going to be Randomizer, Super Mario 64 Random, where you have different seeds. They actually updated the game to where there's 99,999 seeds now. I have raffle tickets to determine which seed where you're going to play. Alright? So, with that said, that's the first game we're going to try out again to live stream on that channel. The new channel is going to be Yuuki's Video Zone. But this is where you're going to learn how to video edit videos on your own using CapCut, Movavi Video Editor 2025, DaVinci Resolve 19, etc., etc., etc. That's tutorial zone for you guys. Also, IndieYuuki returns with more games, trial run at a website from scratch, and game reviews. Guess what? I have a little preview of that. I'm gonna show you guys later what I mean by that. All right. Next, the streaming forecast table. Okay, this is where everything is gonna get funky, and I mean it. So, for the most part, everybody is used to the first two channels, the Yuuki Mario World and Yuuki Productions. In 2025, I'll be streaming to both at the same time for Mario content. So we're not going to focus on the Mario part. What we are focusing on is the later on in the week. Please ignore the fact that VR chat is on Thursdays. That's my bad because in 2025 we're actually going to move it to Saturdays. Okay? The reason being is role playing. My group wants it on a Thursday, so I better accommodate that. So Thursdays or role playing nights, but I will give you content. Um, so Saturdays is going to be our VR chat night. So any character have fun. It's just now on a Saturday, so no song, no Thursday night song. Okay, but I will have the other Critical Role song for you ready to go. You may have noticed that Sundays are a makeup night. However, contingent on what happens with the two other channels on the bottom there, Francis the Ryodu and Francis the Hedgehog, and VR Productions. Everything is contingent on one thing, the headset. Why? Because if I get a headset, I have to make sure I have enough time to prepare, and make sure to set up properly before any stream on VR. And I'm not talking about VR chat. I'm talking about like other games in VR, not just VR chat. Remember, if I get the headset, it has to be way more than VR chat because obviously everybody knows, hey, VR chat is the most popular thing to play, and that makes sense. But you got to remember, there's other games out there that you can play for your audience. So I'm not just gonna use it just for VR chat. No, 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 no. We're going to play. We're going to go all in if we play. If we go in, okay. Now, what does this mean for Thursdays in the Francis Ryodu, Francis the Hedgehog group department? They will get their own day of reactions. That's what's going to be on Thursdays. So we're going to move VR chat to Saturdays. Pokemon Night is Friday nights. Okay? That's going to stay there on both channels. Now, you may have noticed today, this morning, that there's a live stream tonight for Francis Riolu at 9:30. What does this have to do with the scheduling? For starters, tonight is an experiment to see if you want Francis Riolu or Pokemon games on a Tuesday and a Friday. I want to see the data to see what what I would do in that scenario. If I find out that you guys like Francis Riolu or Pokemon content on a Tuesday, like tonight, then I may consider it on 2025, along with Friday night normally. So that's going to stay on Friday. Here's the other thing. Remember, I want to also start the anime channel. I have the anime channel ready. It's just not ready in terms of what to stream there, or what content, or what time, or what day. Could that be on a Sunday? You never know. Because usually we don't stream on a Sunday unless it's a special case. Now, you may have also noticed that during this week, I've been moving streams to 9:30 p.m. That is because of the World Series. Now, you might be wondering, what does baseball have to do with anything streaming related? Well, because my team, the Dodgers, are in the World Series. Had they not been in the World Series, every stream is at 5:30. But because they are in the World Series, all streams are at 9:30. That's the catch. Now, what happens if they win tonight? If they win tonight, they win the title, and all streams go back to normal timing at 5:30. Okay. Now, if they don't win tonight, it means it means it means they are up 3-1. They have a chance to win tomorrow, but that means tomorrow's Mario stream is at 9:30. So that's the contingency. So it will depend on if they win or lose, is what I'm talking about here. But when it comes to scheduling, okay, a makeup stream. Will there be a makeup stream in 2025? What's the rule on that? Well, it will depend on what we do if we're going to have anime night. If we are going to have an anime night stream, there is no makeup stream today. Okay, because Saturday is going to be VR chat now. Friday is going to be Pokemon Night with Francis the Riolu. Okay, but if we don't have an anime night, in terms of if we have an anime night where it's a Sunday, then no more makeups. But let's say you don't want Francis and Riolu on a Tuesday, we can change that to anime night. So it will all depend on that. If anime night is on a Tuesday, the makeup will be on a Sunday. What constitutes a makeup stream? If I am sick on a Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, or a Friday, that's a makeup stream on a Sunday. Saturdays for VR chat cannot be made up because of the way that I have to do it. Okay? We are not making up a Saturday VR chat because there's no way Sunday, because it's a work day on Monday. No way I'm going to do that. Uh-uh. Not in my repertoire. Okay? That's not what my resume says. My resume says don't do it on a Sunday because it's a work day on a Monday. Okay? That's how it works. Also, the other contingency, VR day. Again, everything is contingent on a headset right now. That's how crazy 2025 is going to be. It all relies is if I get the headset now or in Christmas. All right, speaking of scheduling, how about more scheduling chaos? Here's the weekly forecast table for 2025 as of today. As you can see on the left and right, they are different. On the left is the Saturday VR chat. Friday night is Pokemon night. Thursday is the content day with our boys. Wednesday and Monday are Mario days. Okay? And Tuesday and Sundays are content days, or if in the case of a makeup day, Sunday. On the right, we have another one. Mario on Mondays, but it's a double Mario night, meaning you get one ROM hack and one classic night. On Tuesdays, it's a content day. But then we have three different paths: a C path, a D path, and an E path. C and D will go to anime night, and on the case of D, you get a double anime night. In the case of E, you get a Wheel of Mario event. Then everybody merges on the 5 freeway Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But again, not all the schedules are here. It's because I am trying to fit in anime night, VR night, and any other types of nights you guys want to try out in 2025. We're always testing out vertical content for this. But that's not all. Because in light of our theme, nostalgic diversification, we also have four other themes that could be in 2025. And we haven't even gotten to the part where I talk about numbers. So, and some of these can be mixed and matched with. So the first other possible theme is called nostalgic rejuvenation. The idea here is to play nostalgic games in different ways to make it more interesting for viewers, like Sonic, Mario, Pokemon. Interestingly enough, I just talked about this concept with nostalgic diversification. The only difference is that we're going to settle more on the nostalgic game. The second theme is virtual and nostalgic convergence. The idea here is to have virtual worlds and nostalgic worlds collide in a year of adventures and experiences for the audience. The contingency here is the VR headset. But all the games we have done is already going to be played into. The only difference is we're adding VR. The number three is modern nostalgic. So all the newer Pokemon games, all the newer Mario games, and all the newer Sonic games like Sonic X Shadow Generation are going to be featured. Fan games and ROM hacks will also be featured. And number four, the virtual gaming verse. The idea here is virtual world games and other virtual experiences dominate the schedule and content. All games will be included. However, we will focus more on VR games, other than VR chat, except for Beat Saber. The reason why we cannot do Beat Saber is because I will be streaming, and Beat Saber is a music rhythm game. Therefore, with copyright music in there, I cannot do that game. I don't want to risk it. That's the rule. Okay? No risking it for the biscuit when it comes to copyright. You don't want that. So this is a recap of the games to be considered based on the theme. Right here is that um, stream interactables. I mentioned I was going to go into this a little bit more earlier, so here we go. Hotkey counters. So actually, this would be hotkey commands. This would be commands, not counters. But basically, I'm going to run a command to have the number go up. For example, how many bullets do I use in Shotgun Mario 64? I can make it go up using a new thing called pixel stream, I believe it's called. I'm going to take a look at it again. But I can do a counter. I can run a command to make it go up. Alright? Now, I'm the only one that's allowed to do that. I can make the counter go up, up. Alright? Or go down, down if I need to. Alright? Or put it at a set number. But yeah, we're going to have some counters on stream. Alright? To make it more interesting to look at. We're going to have some new alert sounds, including and not limited to channel-based content. So, for example, the Mario channel is going to have Mario sound effects like the coin, the one-up mushroom, and in Francis the Real Loop because it's a Pokemon channel. You're gonna have Pokemon sound effects. Or in the case of maybe the Sonic channel, the Hedgehog. If we go back to Francis the Hedgehog Place, we're going to be doing Sonic sound effects like the ring, the gold ring thingy, like that, to make it more fun sounding. The return of Yuuki coin, yes, Yuuki coin is back, but there is a new rules for Yuuki coin. I cannot just hand them out willy nilly here. Not in 2025. New rules will be enforced to make it fair, as well as new redeemable items like sabotage's rewards. The beta will actually begin as soon as next week. Okay, but I'm not going to demonstrate what it is yet until I fear. I'm not I fear. Until I feel like it's good. We're also going to be introducing the new live experience. Now, keep in mind, I actually did this back in 2022. So, how do I know this? Because back in 2022, we were doing this. Francis the Hedgehog plays Sonic Adventure 2. Remember that one? Right here. This is the live experience. Can you tell? Here's why. Does anybody see anything different from any stream I have done in the past? That's right. Bottom left corner of the screen is the live scoreboard of MLB games. That's right. Back in 2022, I did attempt to do this. Okay? During a stream. Now, unfortunately, my Dodgers lost that day. 9-0, I think, was the final score. But as you can see, anytime that the score is updated, it will show you on the bottom left corner of the screen. Literally. I think by the time we ended the stream was around right here. I'm going to show you. Once we get to that part where we got to see Shadow, right here. Right here, the score for the Dodger game was 7-1. Remember, when we started the stream, it was like 4-0. So the game score will update when they score. That's the live stream experience. We also saw the Cincinnati Cardinals 3-2 over the Colorado Rockies. Over there we have Baltimore Orioles winning over the Oakland Athletics at the time. They're going to Vegas, I heard. Boston Red Sox won over the Texas Rangers 9-1, and Toronto Blue Jays won over the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-0, as you can see there on the bottom of the screen. So yeah, that was the live stream experience trial run. Yeah, and then my Dodgers lost that day. Okay, but that's the way that the live stream experience was actually played out to be right there. Okay, remember I did not initially announce it as a live stream experience, but it was more of a trial run to see what would happen if you guys enjoyed that. Back to the page here. So that's what you're gonna expect. But we're also gonna be doing like um quiz question, um question of the day, or something else. Then the content preview. Content preview. This is why I have the 25 2025 content page ready to play with once I put up stuff. So your content preview includes tutorials, video editing tutorials for 2025, fan games, ROM hacks, and more for Mario and Pokemon, by the way, and VR chat roleplay. Remember, this is not a complete set yet because I have not put up the page. I put up the page, but I have not put content on the page. Okay, that's just the first half of this video. The second half is IndieYuuki, how to support the how to pay, how to support everything else. So IndieYuuki. Oh, actually, before we get into that material, let's go into the data that I want to demonstrate. Okay, before we get into it, I just want to remind you guys that I just made up this spreadsheet today, so there is no data on it. Like there's no number. However, I want to explain what I'm tracking this year. My goal is to make sure you guys are happy. Okay, that makes sense, right? I'm talking about in the way of content you guys like. Okay, what do I mean by that? You might be asking. Because there are content creators that just put out content that they like, but not necessarily the community. This is where I'm going to get nerdy. So here we go. Here comes the nerd alert right off the rip. So, what I mean by this concept of videos I like, content you don't like. So, let's say for example, I'm just making hypothetical that you guys never liked Mario on my channel. Okay? Then in that case, even if I put a Mario content video, you guys are never gonna watch it based on analytical. Okay? What do I mean by this? So let me go to my channel, and in particular, my analytics page, and let's take a look at a recent Mario stream here. Let's look at Shotgun Mario 64. So let's take a look at this. Let's see here. I think it's just because it's still processing. So we're gonna have to wait on this one. But as you can see, we have 75 views on that. Okay. Now what does this have to do with anything? 75 views, it looks bad on the surface. But I will tell you it's not as bad as you think. Because if you really look at my channel, we've been averaging between 25 to 100 views a stream. In terms of total viewers, that's not as bad as you think. So we're in average mode. Okay, we're on the average line here. Okay, so keep that in mind. Certain content you guys seem to enjoy more than others, and that makes sense. So I want to demonstrate the data by showing you guys what you guys like more. But what does this have to do with anything? Remember, I'm going to start being more transparent with numbers. Okay, in 2025. So let's say, for example, I'm just making a hypothetical. You guys, you guys in particular, want to see more Pokemon, Francis Riolo to be exact. So I'm gonna give you more Francis Riolo plays Pokemon game. Okay, I am not gonna give you um Mario game in that case, because there are more people watching me play a Pokemon game than a Mario game. So my data would be showing that you guys like more Pokemon than Mario, and that makes sense. Okay, so I don't want to go against my data in a way. Now, here's the caveat. How can I tell what content is working and what is not? Well, all we have to do is look at my analytics. Now, as you can see, on the bottom here, we have a Call of Duty stream. I want to emphasize this is the beta of Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I was never meant to buy the game, and I never did. Good. It got 35 views. It's bad, and I expected it to be bad. But that's okay because that was a throwaway stream basically. Anyway, now keep in mind that it has been a while since I played a COD game. Now 35 views on that it's not as bad as you think, just because there was interest at one time. I played Call of Duty here on this channel, and I said no. I dropped it. I went to Mario, Pokemon, Sonic, and look at where we are. It changed everything. So the data tells me don't play Call of Duty because it's not giving you nothing in terms of like viewership. What is giving you viewership is Mario, VR Chat, Sonic, Pokemon. How do I know this? Because as you can see already, Super Mario Sunshine, 72 reviews. It would take two Call of Duty streams to beat that. Mario Builder 64, 186 views. It would take five Call of Duty streams to beat that, or even more if the game is old. Okay, Fortnite. Oh goodness. The only reason why I went to Fortnite is because we tried something. We tried Fortnite Fridays. It was working for a bit. I'm not going to cap. It was working for a bit. But my goodness, did it drop off on my channel. And the only stream that did any good was because we were celebrating my Bryce's birthday. That was like one of the few streams that did any good when it came to Fortnite on this channel. And maybe there was a time back in 2022 that I did Fortnite with characters like Francis the Hedgehog, Shadow, Amy Rose. Those actually did okay. But that's just because at the time Fortnite was still getting into it. Nowadays it's like Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex Legends, yeah, the FPS genre. All right, so it didn't work out for us. And look at the Francis the Hedgehog plays Sonic Superstars. I still yet to complete that game. By the way, it has more views than Call of Duty and Fortnite combined. So the data shows Sonic, Mario, Pokemon VR chat. And depending on what happens, VR may be included into that data. So I drop off when it comes to Fortnite for sure. Now, when it comes to other games, then it comes a little bit of a different story. Okay? Just because they're other games. Genshin Impact was a game I was introduced to by a certain somebody in June. That didn't do as good as I wanted to, but it got exposure anyway. Now, which is why I'm thinking about an anime channel. Because Genshin Impact is so cute that it's like an anime game to me. Then, we tried another game, X Defiant. It did not do well at all. Even if it was winning. Not even close. So that game did not work out on my channel, which is why I dropped it. Other than everybody's complaining about netcode. That's why I dropped X Defiant. Because it wasn't doing well on my channel. And then we had and then all VR chat streams actually dominated that week because it was X Defiant. Then we did a few Fortnite specials. So VR chat, Pokemon, Sonic, Pikachu, Mario dominates the channel by a long shot when it comes to views. Alright? And even the experimentals actually did well. Like the imperialism. So that's why I tell you, try to experiment with content. You never know what's gonna hit. Now, indie games are a little bit of a hit and miss. So that's why I'm going to do the indie game stuff on its own channel to see where it goes. And even the other experiment we tried, the tabletop gaming. You remember that experiment? Okay, so if you guys do not know about that experiment, the data showed that the first episode was actually good. And then all of a sudden, nobody else watched. Okay? What do I mean by this? As we can see, episode 1 was not the rules. This one. It had 984 views, okay? It dropped off all the way down to 41 views at the time of this video. Oh wait, no, not 41. Well, 41 because that's the other video here, but you get my point. Okay? It dropped down to 41. You know what beat that video? This. You so a remaster of a video I made a few years ago beat up a video that was released for a different genre. Unreal. But does it make sense? Yes. You know why? VR chat. That's why. If this was not VR chat, then we have a different conversation. But this was VR chat. This one right here. 524 views versus 41. Data shows VR chat wins. But with indie games, it's kind of a hit and miss. It will depend on. It will really depend on what game it is. So that's why we can now transition to the IndieYuuki portion of this video for 2025 preview. So, oh, before we do that, data. So as you can see here, I have a spreadsheet for 2025 data, but I'm always going to include this year, like the rest of this year. So we're going to see where the factor where the where you guys are watching. And the reason for it is that I can see what the data shows. Does the data show what I'm thinking of in terms of content? You're gonna see more later on down the line. Okay? So we have a few sheets in one sheet. Overall, stream data, content data, shorts data, vertical streams, vertical content, VR monetization. The one thing I have not shown off that is not in there is the characters, like Francis the Riolu, Francis the Hedgehog, because I am going to put that under character content data on its own sheet, which is, I'm going to show off right now. So what is being tracked here? What's being tracked here is how many views they get, the video wise, and where I see it going. The overall data is for everything because it's overall for 2025. We're going to determine what you guys like, don't like, and want me to exclude for 2025 starting today. Now, keep in mind that some of them have contingencies. For example, tonight's stream is at 9:30. You normally don't stream at 9:30. I stream at 5:30, but because of the World Series, I've been streaming at 9:30, which is late. However, I've been able to gather views anyway. That's not going to be the case every time. So that is why I'm doing this. So does a late stream determine the data? Yes, because there are certain games that play well at 5:30 and the other games well at 9:30, and where the other one does not do good at 5:30, and some of them do way better at 9:30. We just have to figure out what that is. So this would currently determine what you guys like for 2025 and don't like. Now, contingent on a headset too, because we also have VR data on the board. If I see that you guys like VR content, and I'm not talking about just VR chat, the contingency here is not just VR chat. I am only going to use this screen, this particular sheet, for VR experiences and VR games, not VR chat. VR chat is going to be considered as content data, I mean stream data, because we stream that every Thursday and Saturday now, starting in 2025. Actually, potentially at the end of this year too. But that's how the data is going to be tracked. Now, the final thing I'm going to touch on is IndieYuuki, and maybe a little bit of tabletop. Let's do tabletop first because that's easy. So basically, tabletop. Never heard of the channel? Basically, we talk about tabletop gaming, like Dungeons and Dragons, or like games you can buy. This is very simple, so I'm just gonna do a speed run. We're gonna turn it into a channel where I just talk about um tabletop games. No, no actual campaigns. Like we're not playing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm gonna be talking about it instead. For example, because as you can see, it did not work out for us playing it, but it worked out for the channel when I talked about tabletop gaming. So there is that in our favor. This will be also in the Weebly site. That's it. That's all I'm going to talk about for that section. Okay. IndieYuuki is the big one now. Here's the second, here's the last part. Let me actually do this. There we go. So as you can see on your screen, this is a template of a website I am making for IndieYuuki. What is IndieYuuki? IndieYuuki is our channel for indie games. Makes sense. What is going to be on the channel? Reviews, gameplay, previews. That's what you need to look at. Now, as you guys can see, you guys can actually go on the site now. Let me go open it in Chrome, Google Chrome, because for some reason it only works in Google Chrome and Firefox. So this is how the template looks like. This is called the Horizon template. It's the gaming template. So as you guys can see, I changed the home page in a little bit. So we have the general news. This is like your section to go home to go to the blog. Okay, you're gonna see this. Now right now it has not changed because I have not put up the page. I'm gonna do that later today in about a few minutes after this video is over. Okay, so this is a page of a blog. The reviews are gonna be like this, but I'm gonna change this graphic because I gotta see if I can add more to it. All right, because I don't think this graphic is customizable. I think it's more of an image. But I'll do my reviews my own way. So keep that in mind. My review, my side, my review. But I'm going to be unbiased. Um, so there's always the tester pages. Here's one with a video. Now keep in mind the video is random right now because I am going to like actually do like a actual post. And here's a post with a full page. This is what you call the full page post here. I may use this more because I'm going to do like images and stuff. All right, you're gonna see a format I'm gonna be doing for reviews. Now you might be wondering, what about Weebly? Guess what? I'm gonna do that too. Okay, not this one. Oh, I know why. The wrong one. This is the one. So under the content section, you have an IndieYuuki section, and you have the Yuuki zone. This is where I'm going to be covering the games too, and reviews. All right. What about the website for Yuuki Productions? We'll see. I may use this template though, because a lot of the things I want for Yuuki Productions is already there in this template. And there's even a gallery thing that I can even do if I wanted to for that page, for that website. You can actually click on this. Now keep in mind it's not ready yet, obviously, because I'm still editing the thing. But yeah. But that is it for your preview of 2025 part 1. This is only part 1. Part 2 will be in November. But if I get a headset before then, VR headset in this case, I may have an update for you by then. We'll see. I'm not going to make promises yet. Okay? That's the last thing I want to do when it comes to content like this. Alright, that's all. That by the time you see this page on the site, it may be updated because that's what I'm going to be doing right now after this video is over. Other than that, we'll see you guys at 9:30 for Pokemon, and you might be seeing a trophy. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to say anything about trophies right now, in terms of like there's gonna be one, because you never know. Those Yankees are very talented, and you, and I don't think, Judge is going to settle for no wins. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, that's it for this preview. Part two in November, unless otherwise stated. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the little preview of the website. I may use this again. I may use this for the main site too. I'll think about it. See what we got. That's it. Enjoy, and as always, may your always be critical. See you at 9:30 for Mario Pokemon.